Nathan, a resilient and well-earned point at Derby, but you appeared not to be overly impressed with some of the aspects of the play. The defence was fantastic, but yet again it looks like midfield and going forward we're struggling, and I just wondered if you had any thoughts on how you might rectify that for the rest of the season.
Oh, look, it's a constant work in progress, and look, it's difficult to be too disappointed because a clean sheet and a point at Derby isn't a bad for where we are, and everything isn't a bad result. But it was just a manner that I want us to be a little bit more proactive, a little bit more on the front foot. We picked a team to do that, and we weren't. But they put in big shifts on the Saturday. We had obviously injuries and suspensions, which meant that we couldn't freshen it up too much without taking away quite a lot from the team. And they put in a big shift with 10 men, pretty much for 90 minutes. So they gave me everything on Saturday, and it looked like that. So God willing, tomorrow will be a lot fresher. We'll be a lot more on the front foot, and equally as resilient.
I know that we've got injury problems, and not expecting you to mention your team, but is Sam Vokes looking like he might be ready, and Peter Atiba?
Look, we're in far better place than we were Wednesday, so that's a good thing. People that that touch and go a lot closer and so on. So it means that we'll have options. Whatever we go with, at least we'll have options and things to bring off the bench in terms of good quality all through. So we're in a better place than we were Wednesday, and that's a good thing. Obviously, we're missing Sam, and he's a big miss because for me he's a wonderful player, and I really have enjoyed working with him, and he's going to get better. So that's the only disappointment we have, but we can't cry over spilled milk, really.
You talk about the options on the bench, and a lot of fans, which I'm sure you've seen or have heard, are talking about why Bojan isn't getting the run out. So I'm assuming he may be in the squad tomorrow, and because of the injury situation you may have to think of his place in the team.
Well, I never have to think about his place in the team. He's always on our thoughts, Bojan, but I have to get a balance with certain things, and I'm playing a real sort of balancing act with a lot of them because they haven't played. So it's not like we've had a pre-season with everyone starting fresh and so on. Now, Bojan's had to be patient and disciplined in what he's done. So tomorrow's another game, and we want him to be ready. We want everyone to be ready because everyone competes. No one's not competing, and I think you'll see that by the way we go forward. That the team is not set in stone. The team's not already picks itself. No, it doesn't, because we are in decent form and we are proving resilient. We're unbeaten in a long time now, but we want to get better. We want to turn draws into wins and wins into real sort of complete performances, and that's the progression.
It was nice to see Verlinden on the bench, and you've got lots of good youngsters coming through, but a special word for Tom Edwards, who's playing really well since you've been here.
Well, okay, young players, I like young players, I really do, because you can mould young players. They have natural youthful exuberance, what good ones do, natural youthful exuberance and fitness and a readiness to learn, no preconceptions about anything. So you can mould them, you can work with them, and I built a real good track record on developing and nurturing and playing and being bold enough to play them. Now it's the right time to play them and things. He earned that when I came in. He started the first game, didn't have the best of games, but has recovered from that. He competes regularly with Morris Bauer in that role. Obviously we had Kuko here, we not let go, but we let him return to obviously his parent club because we had two contracted ones here. And Kuko was a wonderful professional in everything he did, but we did that because we have two here that are good enough to play championship football. Now Tom's taken his chance, and I think he's been excellent, but it's a continued learning curve because he's nowhere near the finished article. He's obviously been included in England under-20s. He's played games for us, which, as for his age, to be playing in the championship at a club like Stoke with the stature it is, shows he's in a good place.
And a lot of people, as I've said before, think that the season is just drifting towards an end. But we know you're not, and Reading will make certain that we don't think that tomorrow, because it'd be a hard game, won't it?
Be a very difficult game. Reading in decent form, and they've had a little bit of a resurgence, obviously, since changing manager and so on. But it's not. It's about us. We want to finish as high as we possibly can, wherever that takes us. We don't know yet, but what we have to do is we make sure that we finish with enough momentum so that we go into next year, wherever position we finish, we go into next year with real optimism and momentum, and God willing, then with a good pre-season, with a good summer behind us, we can hit the ground running, and that's got to be the aim. But look, we haven't written off, or there's nothing that we're just accepting anything this season. No, you know, they're getting to know me, I'm getting to know them. We're trying to build something. We're trying to set in place. We've set in place a lot within the club. We really have, and we're very happy with where we are in terms of, you know, the infrastructure now that we're building. So we're very happy.
And the last one from me. You've alluded to the fact that you weren't able to play, or the squad wasn't able to play as much high pressing as you wanted, given to people not having had pre-season injuries, maybe not being the same type of fitness that you needed. You've obviously seen an improvement with that, but how difficult is it at this stage of the season to keep building people's fitness?
It's very difficult to do that, but I don't think they can't do it. I think with 2 games a week, you know, we've had to readjust certain things that we've wanted to do, because we can't be relentless at the minute, which is what we want to do. But that's, as I said, that's coupled with a lot. Now, obviously, different managers play different ways, and so on. So it's a new thing. Another thing is we've integrated a lot of players that one didn't really have a full pre-season, I don't think. 2, they with the previous sort of regime, they weren't regular starters and so on, so they lacked game time for whatever reason. There's no criticism involved in that whatsoever. So we've gone a different way, and by doing that, you know, we've had to take gamble with people's level of match fitness. Now, they're a good group, they train hard, they train well, but we have to improve that steadily. Now, if you try to improve that immediately and over a short space of time, and then demanding games, you just pick up injuries, and then you pick up injuries regularly. So what we have to do is make sure that we get them to a level safely, but that don't happen overnight. That's a regular work in progress, and that with any high pressing fit team, they need pre-season to do that, and time, and we know that we're going to need that.
It's nice to see you more philosophical, cheerful even, about the Derby performance, and in fact you've got a point there. What was interesting, I felt, was that at times during that game, or most of the game, you couldn't tell which was the top 6 side playing out there, Derby or Stoke. Does that say a lot about your aspirations for this club in the future? Oh,
look, my aspirations for this club is to get the club promoted. There's no doubt about that. Look, we weren't nowhere near the levels that we will need to be, and we will be. The players recognise that, because look, we had to put in a big shift the other day in terms of QPR, and I think that affected. Look, on the night, sometimes emotions are raw, and we say things and we think things, and you know, I'm an honest guy and I'm an emotional guy, so sometimes I say things like that. But when you look back, it was a good point, and we showed real resilience and discipline in our defending. Obviously, we relied on 2 fantastic saves from probably, definitely the best keeper in the division. But I want us to be more proactive. I want us to be more of a real threat. I want us to be pushing the game, and look, the ambition is that we go to Derby and we the dominant one. That's what we have to aspire to, because that's the type of team we want to be. That's a team I have absolutely no doubt we're going to become, but until I get us there, I can't actually profess that yet. But look, I was happy with the point. The performance was far better, far more controlled at QPR, but without being disrespectful, the level of opposition was slightly different as well.